Year 2 and welcome to today's English lesson. How are you? How did you get on with the English lesson yesterday? Were you able to spot the verbs and the adverbs in the different sentences and fill in the missing adverb in the gap fill? Fantastic, well done if you did. Now, can you remember what an adverb is? Tell your screen. Yes, that's right. An adverb tells you more about a verb, doesn't it? And what was an adverb of manner? Yes, that's right. It tells you how the verb is done. Well done for remembering that. Can you think of any examples of adverbs of manner that we learnt yesterday? If you can, shout them to your screen so I can hear. Wow, I can hear lots of different adverbs of manner. Well done for remembering. So we've got slowly, quickly, eagerly, frantically. We've got gracefully, beautifully. Well done. They're fantastic. Now, to start the lesson today, we're going to be brainstorming, so thinking of as many different adverbs of manner that we can put with these two verbs. We've got laugh and we've got walk. So pause your video now and do a mind map of these two verbs and think of as many adverbs of manner that you can use with them. Okay, how did you get on? How many did you think of? Oh, well done. Do you want to see what I've got? So, laugh. What adverb of manner did I think I could put with laugh? Laugh quietly, so you might not want somebody to hear you laugh. Laugh loudly, so the opposite. Laugh softly, so that's a little bit like laugh quietly, isn't it? You don't want anyone to hear you. Laugh hysterically. Do you know what hysterically means? Yes, that's right. It's when you can't stop laughing, you're laughing so much. Brilliant. And lastly, laugh nervously. Now you might laugh nervously if you're not sure if you're meant to laugh or not. So you might laugh nervously because you're nervous of what people might think. Now, walk. What did you put with walk? What adverbs? Should we see what I put? So I put walk leisurely. So if you walk leisurely, it's like for fun. So you could have a leisurely walk with your family. You could walk leisurely in the park and you do that for fun. You could have walk cautiously. Now, you could walk cautiously if you're in a big dark forest and you don't know what's there, what's behind the trees. So you're walking cautiously because you're a little bit nervous. Then we've got walk silently. Now I say this every day, don't I, when we go to the dinner hall. So I'm using an adverb of manner every day. And I say walk silently to the dinner hall because there's other classes still working. There you go. We can walk silently. We can walk carefully. So you might be holding a drink and you don't want to drop it. So you walk carefully to make sure you don't drop it. You could walk quickly, okay, if you're in a rush and you've got somewhere to be. You could walk slowly, so the opposite. And if you're walking slowly, it's the same as walking leisurely. Walking briskly, so that's even quicker than walking quickly. If you walk briskly, you're walking very, very fast. And that's, you know, how some people also exercise. If you walk briskly, that's a type of exercise. Then we have walk aimlessly, so that's almost like walk leisurely. It's you don't have any aim, you don't have a purpose to your walking, you're just walking for the fun of it. Then walk confidently, so you might walk confidently if you know where you're going. So if you know where you're going, you know which directions to go in, you'll be very confident with the route, so you'll walk confidently. Now, before we start writing adverbs of manner ourselves, we need to know how to form them. Now, there are 3 different things that you need to remember when you're forming adverbs. Firstly, like most adverbs are formed, you just add the suffix ly. Now, do you know what a suffix is? If you've watched the phonics video for today before now, you'll know what a suffix is. Well, a suffix is adding a letter or a group of letters to the end of a word to make a new word. So in the first example, we have the adjective kind and we add the suffix ly to make kindly. In the second one, we've got the adjective nice and we add the suffix ly to make nicely. And the last one, we have the suffix we have the adjective eager, which, do you know what eager means? Yes, if you're eager, you want to do something. So I'm sure you're all eager about doing your home learning, aren't you? So eager, the adjective, and you add the suffix ly to make the adverb eagerly. Now, this is when it gets a bit trickier. If the word ends in a Y, so like happy ends in a Y, it becomes an I. So the Y turns into an I before you add the suffix ly. So look at the example, happy. So look, the Y's changed into an I, and then you've added the suffix ly on the end. Now, number 3, if the word ends in LE, like the word gentle, you drop the LE, so you get rid of the LE, and then you add LY, the suffix LY, or ly. Now, can you see the box with the 5 different words in? Yes. What I'd like you to do to practice how to form the adverbs of manner, I would like you to have a go at changing these words into adverbs of manner, okay? So following the different rules. So pause the video now and have a go at this. Okay, should we see how you got on? So the first one, steady. What do you realise about this word? Yes, that's right, it ends in a Y, doesn't it? And do you remember what we need to do if the word ends in a Y? Yes, well, we need to change the Y into an I and then add ly, like this, steadily. Now, the next one, we have simple. Now, what do you realise about the word simple? Yes, it ends in an LE, doesn't it? And what did we need to do if a word ends in LE? Tell the screen. Yes, that's right, we get rid of the LE, don't we? And we add the suffix ly, like this, simply. Then wonderful. Now, wonderful doesn't end in a Y and it doesn't end in an LE. So we just add the suffix ly, wonderfully. Then we've got messy. Now, what do you realise about the word messy, the adjective? Yes, it ends in a Y. So again, we change the Y into an I and add the suffix ly, messily. Then we've got the word terrible, the adjective terrible. What do we do? Yes, it ends in an LE, doesn't it? So we need to drop the LE and add the suffix ly. So there you go. Now you know how to form adverbs of manner. You can use them all the time. So here we have got some sentences. Now, these aren't great sentences because they haven't got adverbs of manner in. And we want to add the adverbs of manner to make them better sentences. So number 1, we've got Jake held up his certificate. Number 2, yesterday the sun shone. Next one, we've got James waited for his test results. And number 4, Alex climbed up the ladder. Now, when you're adding adverbs of manner, it's important to look for the verb in the sentence to choose an appropriate adverb of manner. So in the first one, what's the verb? Who can tell me? Yes, held up. Fantastic. Or that's in the past tense, so hold up. Now pause the video and have a think. What are the verbs in the next 3 sentences? Okay, should we see if you were right? So number 2, what was the verb? Yes, that's right, it's shone, which is the past tense of shine. The sun shines. Number 3, what was the verb? Yes, waited, the past tense of wait, and that's a regular past tense, isn't it? Number 4, we've got Alex climbed up the ladder. So yes, the verb is climbed, the past tense of to climb. Now, what I'd like you to do now that you know where the verbs are, is to think of some adverbs of manner that you could use in each sentence and add it to your sentence, okay? So pause the video now and have a go. Okay, should we see how you got on? I'm sure you've got some brilliant ideas. Now, because I can't hear your ideas, I'm going to show you my ideas, okay? And you can see if they're similar or if they're different. Brilliant, well done. Now, number 1, Jake held up his certificate. Now, if he's won a certificate, he's going to be quite proud of himself, isn't he? So I thought of Jake held up his certificate proudly. Okay, so I've taken the adjective proud and changed it into an adverb of manner, proudly, adding the suffix ly. The number 2, yesterday the sun shone. Well, the sun, if it shines, it's quite bright, isn't it? So let's change the adjective bright into an adverb. Well, yes, again, we just add the suffix ly because it doesn't end in a Y and it doesn't end in an LE, does it? So we just follow the normal rule of adding the suffix ly. So yesterday, the sun shone brightly. Now, number 3, James waited for his test results. Now, if he's got a test, like when you have your spelling test, how do you feel before they get marked? Do you feel a bit nervous, a little bit anxious? Okay, so I thought we could put James waited anxiously for his test results, or James waited nervously for his test results. Either one's fine. Or I'm sure you have more ideas as well. Number 4, Alex climbed up the ladder. I thought Alex climbed carefully up the ladder because he doesn't want to fall off the ladder, does he? So I've changed the adjective careful to the adverb carefully by adding the suffix ly. Okay, now your task. I have written a bit of a story, only a simple story about bubbles. While using the bubble story, I've written my own story. Now let me read it to you. In the early hours of the morning, Gabby walked along the beach. On the sand, there were some bubbles, which Gabby picked up. She blew the bubbles and something magical happened. The bubbles lifted her up and she floated into the sky with the clouds around her. Next, she jumped from bubble to bubble and was led to the sea, where she swam with the fish. After this, she floated up into space on her magic bubble and travelled amongst the planets. In the distance, there was a girl on the beach walking on her own. Gabby thought for a few minutes and then decided to help the girl. She left the bubbles on the sand for her, hid behind the rocks, and watched the girl. The girl picked up the bubbles and, just like Gabby, blew them. Now, your task is to find the verbs in the extract in the text and to add an adverb of manner, okay? So you need to find the verbs and add an appropriate adverb of manner. Now, should we find the first verb together to help you get started? So in the early hours of the morning, Gabby walked along the beach. Pause your video and have a think. Where is the verb in that sentence? Okay, how did you get on? Should we see if you're correct? So the verb in this sentence is walked, isn't it? It's the past tense of to walk. And because we're writing a story, it's going to be in the past tense. So Gabby walked along the beach. Now remember the video, was she walking quickly along the beach? No, she wasn't, was she? Was she walking slowly along the beach? Yes, she was, wasn't she? So we can't use quickly, we can use slowly. Can you remember any of the other words that I had, any other of the adverbs I had that I could put with walk from when we did the mind map activity earlier? Yes, we could have walked leisurely, walked aimlessly. Okay, we don't know where she's going. So there are lots of different adverbs of manner that we can put with walked. So now I want you to go off and find all the verbs and add some adverbs to the story that I've made. Okay? Brilliant. I'm looking forward to seeing which adverbs you've added. Have a lovely rest of your day, Year 2. Bye.